I'm here with Marcus Sigwald, and we're going to start talking some hypercars, because this is such a big part of this weekend now, and as they hit the track, I'm delighted to join you. Taylor spoke to you earlier, but we've got you in the booth now, so welcome. Let's talk hypercars, and also what you've been up to this weekend, because you look like, with a smile on your face, like you've been having a good time.
Yeah, thank you so much, John, for having me here. So it's a great honor, it's a pleasure to be here at the track. First of all, thanks to Velocity Invitational. The whole scenario here is just great. So Guten Tag from Germany.
There you
go.
You are welcome.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So yeah, let's talk about the Hypercar group. We are honored that we are in this group. You know, I think, look at these cars, the Czinger and the Zenvo, and we are here with a 1995 car. So our car based on a 1995 chassis, C2 narrow body. Yeah, it's great to be on track with Billy Johnson as our driver. And
that's interesting. How did you get hold of him?
Yeah, it's a connection between Peter Nam, the owner, and Billy Johnson. So the first time we touched base, it was, you know, from scratch, just right away an improvement. So he's really a great driver, and we are so happy to have him here. And yeah, so let's talk about the car. From our engineering standpoint, the idea was to create a bridge between the analog and digital centuries. So the car, when you look at the track, we try to make it square track. So it's based on this 1995 C2 chassis, and the car is made everything in-house out of carbon fiber. So we stripped the car down to the media bare chassis, and then we just keep the door bars for safety reasons, and then we build the car from scratch by ourselves. It's all made out of carbon fiber. So the roof, the hood, the whole body. And the production is in-house, as I said.
How does that change the dynamics of a car that wasn't necessarily designed to be completely carbon fiber?
Yeah, I think the key word is that we want to lose weight. So
sure.
The weight savings when you see the car there. So the car total weight is about 2,650 pounds. And by the way, with the coupe we did, the first time we have been here at Laguna Seca, we put the number 130.99 right next behind the P1 on this track. So yeah, the power, it's based on a Porsche engine. We use the 3.6 liter, and then the engine gets built by Jeff Gamroth. It's a 4 liter. It's naturally aspirated in this car and has a 400, close to 40 horsepower, 440 horsepower.
Because the reason I asked that, obviously, is that what every racing driver or every racing team wants to do, is make their car as lightweight as possible. And all those dimensions you just gave, add the carbon fiber or take away the weight, and you get this sort of product. And it really does change the power to weight ratio, doesn't it, massively? Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, from a technical perspective, you mentioned the power to weight ratio. It's phenomenal what, you know, the number is talking when I say a 130.99 just right behind the P1. So the only Porsche which is faster at the track is the 991 GT2 RS.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, look at the car, how the car handles. It's just great looking at it.
So how did the company come to be? How did you start doing this in the first place?
Yeah, so the idea was that Peter Nam wants to create his own car, so that was his dream. And his favorite Porsche 911 was the 993, so the very last air-cooled. And we just have been sitting down together at that time, and he said, okay, let's do it. So from scratch, he created a project where, as you can see, we try to keep it period correct. We want to have these GANs from Porsche brought into this analog and digital bridge we shaved. And so that was his idea. And then the first car we launched at Quail in 2017 was this red car with a big wing. So it's also two options we offer. On the coupe, we have the big wing, we have the ducktail, also to, you know, have this kind of like a Porsche, you know, things we want to show there, so that we keep it period correct.
Have you been taking a look at the car we were looking at the moment, the Zenvo, and also the Czinger, and some of the other cars, the Hennesseys are here. Do you kind of have a quick look at what the competition and what other hypercars
are doing?
Oh yeah,
for sure, and we appreciate it, and the honor to be in this group is, you know, even more means a lot to us, because look at the...
This blows my mind, this is wild. It looks odd at first, but when you explain what they're trying to do, which is effectively use the wing as part of the steering, that's interesting too.
And I talked to the Czinger production manager yesterday. It was just impressive what craftsmanship these guys are doing with this 3D printed, completely upright, including the calipers. So it's just great to see the cars going around the track with us.
So what else are you hoping to develop? What are you working on? What kind of other cars are you hoping in the future, in the next couple of years, to work with?
Yeah, so the 25 cars we do, Speedster and Coupe, we are sold out with these cars, and the new project we showed up here is our Project Tornado, and it's a twin turbo flat six fan, and it's the first production engine with a flat fan. And we work on this project heavily, and we try to bring this car on the track, I'm sure next year. So we are right at the end of have everything engineered, so we want to launch the car on the track, yeah, next year, I said. And we start production in 2024.
And what about Velocity Invitational overall? It's great to be able to get your cars. It's one thing to show people them as they walk by and they're static. It's another to get them out on track and really put them through their paces and show people what they can do.
It is. That's why we appreciate you being here. Velocity Invitational gave us the chance to show the car at the booth, to get the car out on track, to talk to people. A lot of, yesterday people step by and say, hey, have you seen this car driving? It's phenomenal. It's fantastic, isn't it? So that's a great opportunity for us also to show what we're doing, because this car is made to be driven. It's not just like a car sitting in the collection. We have some customers, they call us every weekend and say, hey, we check this car whenever we can. So there's not only the cars and coffee, they just can take their helmet, they just can go to the track, put the Hoosiers on, and change a little bit of their suspension. But that's what the car is all about. Again, and the number 130.99 just right behind the P1 here at the track, that's all said.
I got to ask you a personal question, but as a Brit, as a German, are you just not amazingly impressed about how the Porsche is so revered here in the United States, and how many of them made it over this side of the pond, and how they continue to be revered both at the racing level and at the production level and the sales level? I am just flabbergasted about the old British cars of Lotus and Triumph and so on, but as a German, you must be, it must be heartwarming.
Oh yeah, look at my skin, it's goosebumps all over. So, no, that's right. I think the iconic cars, Porsche, the name, everything together, when you look what kind of history they brought for us, and what we try to save also when we build our own cars. But, when I look around here, I have never seen so many Porsche enthusiasts, as here in the United States or at the track. So I'm with you, and I think it's just great to have all these fantastic people around and sharing their passion about the Porsche brand.
Because I think it would surprise quite a few Europeans maybe tuning in on our live stream just how the Americans have taken to European cars. There's almost a snobbery on the other side in Europe about, well, the Americans do their own thing. Well, actually, that's not quite true. They have a real reverence for what we built back in the day and what we continue to build and sell out of Europe, and what we continue to bring to the biggest market in the world, which is the USA, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, thanks for coming in. A great display of these hypercars. Give a last minute, there's people listening in the paddock, where can they come and find you? Give us a chance to come and see you. Where can they find you?
Yeah, it's just right next to the Camaro section over here. We have this orange Project Tornado showing up just right in the front. So step by, hang out with us, ask us any questions you want. We would love to have you until the event is over.
And for those listening on the live stream, how can they find you online?
Online, it's the website guntherwerks.com. We are based in Huntington Beach, and also Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just, Gunther Werks, put that in and find us there.
Marcus from Gunther Werks, thanks for coming in and talking to us. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any other cars that we should know about in the future?
I can just say there are a few new projects coming up, so just wait for it and follow us, on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe, and you will going to see a lot of cool things going on.
Perfect. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you.
Perfect. So the track coverage continues here. Great stuff from Marcus from Gunther Werks. Thank you for sharing what was a very interesting look at that Porsche. And what a great guy to drive it too, almost going sideways throughout most of the corners. But a beautiful car, and I saw it up close yesterday, and they have put some absolute beautiful work into that car. But currently you're watching one of the Zenvos, and really impressive car on track, and I'll tell you more about that wing when I get a chance, because it really is pretty impressive. It's starting to come. There's the Porsche again, but they're still doing some laps around the track. But that wing, it looks as though it's got a problem, or it might have a problem, but it actually doesn't, because it is actually steering the car, or it's part of the steering input. So when the car brakes, the wing goes forward, when it goes left, when it goes right, and so on and so forth. And that is the Danish manufacturer, Zenvo. We spoke to them yesterday, but I'm about to speak to the Czinger, father and son, who came in here yesterday. They're back in here and refreshed. So let's bring them in. Here they are.
Absolutely, just talking to you gets us all refreshed.
There you go. It's always nice to have a couple of Zingers. How you get on, boys?
We're having a great day. It's another beautiful day at Velocity Invitational, and it really is like the Goodwood of the U.S., which is a cool thing. If you've ever been to Goodwood, that's really cool too.
Oh yeah. What have you learned this weekend? Because you're here showing people, I know talking to Marcus yesterday, that this is a car that's coming out fourth quarter next year. You're making a limited number of them, but tell us about the Czinger and the concept behind it and what it's all about.
Well, the Czinger 21C is the first of a series of super performance vehicles across different categories. We're starting out with the Apex category, Hypercars, and this is the world's first human AI generated design, 3D printed and automatically assembled car. And its purpose is for someone to have a lot of fun and have the capability literally not only to beat the existing hypercar performance records across the spectrum, but completely erase them. We had this car at the track last year, and running Michelin Pilot Cup 2Rs, with a production kit car, we ran a 125.11. So, the current production track record, the McLaren center record, is 127.6.
Wow. Now, what about sort of stats when it comes to, like, what do you call it, 0 to 60? He turns immediately to his son. Tell us, because that's what, I mean, the boy in me wants to know that. I like that stat that you just gave me.
I like that stat too.
Yeah, I also want to know the 0 to 60, whatever the quarter mile, what you tell me.
Absolutely. So track times for us are really the ultimate prove-it-all function, right? That's the number that matters most. But 0 to 60, we're the leader in that category as well. 1.88 seconds.
Wait a minute, repeat that?
1.88 seconds.
0 to 60.
Correct.
Gosh.
Correct. Yeah.
Well,
so we have,
how
that'll blow your toupee off.
You know how in Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
Dom Toretto's always going, I've got the mythical 10-second car?
Yeah.
Well, this is an 8.1 second quarter-mile car.
Yeah, it is, isn't it, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And we're doing that with a powertrain that does 1350 horsepower. So we've got electric motors in the front, we've got the V8 in the rear. That V8 is actually our own design from scratch. So we've made that motor in-house, we patented that design. Just that combustion engine does 950 horsepower, and we get another 400 out of the EV in the front.
Now, I don't know if you know how technical we can get here, but how do you combine the electric motor with the combustion engine from the V8 at the same time to get that full?
Yeah, so we can separately deploy each, and then there's actually a third electric motor, not to get too technically, called an MGU, motor generator unit, which acts as the starter for the ICE engine, but can actually put power into the crank of the ICE engine as well. And then we've got torque vectoring. We're able to deploy front wheel power, which we really mainly use when we're coming out of corner exit on the track, or if we're doing those 0 to 60 acceleration type moves.
So you're literally talking Formula One capabilities.
Yeah, this is an LP, LMP strong hybrid powertrain with torque vectoring, so you're moving torque to the tire surface that can use it.
That is unbelievable, really unbelievable. I was just down working with the World Rally Cars down in New Zealand, and it's very similar. They get the chance to use the boost of the electric motors, but they only get a certain amount on each rally stage, but they can do it instantly. And I guess, you know, you're not worried about that. You don't have any parameters, but so you can use it from the get-go, and hence that 1.8. You can literally put all wheels out there and all power to the wheels as soon as you want it. But like you said, the torque must be absolutely ridiculous at that point.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, and then the red car, which we're showing inside in kind of the driver's lounge, that car is less so geared at track records and more so at top speed, but also the Hypercar records that are 0 to some top speed to 0 again. So 0 to 250 to 0, we'll do that in just about 27 seconds, which is taking the current record and shaving multiple seconds off of it as well.
I mean, I mean, do you set out to go and break those because it's such an accolade and people do like to read those stats, or did that just come with the territory of building the ultimate car?
Well, I mean, it's about humans. Who wants a car unless you're going to go out and do something with it and compete? And hypercars are about being hyper competitive.
Yep.
And we're very, very competitive. And you know, we want to create an American performance car brand that, because Lucas and I are both inventors, designers, people that build companies, we want to have this set of tools and create a group of cars, starting with this car, where we can say, hey, this isn't Ford versus Ferrari, this is Czinger versus the world. This is Cleveland Hot Rod Garage meets California Silicon Valley Garage. We created the tools, now we create the cars.